History isn't just about what they teach you in school. It's not a neat timeline of kings, queens, and famous battles. The real story of our world is often written in invisible ink, shaped by secret strategies that few ever learn about. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal 5 hidden strategies that changed everything. Get ready, because what you're about to hear will make you question every history book you've ever read. Let's dive right into the thick of it. World War II. We all know about D-Day and the Battle of Stalingrad. But what about the operations that never made the headlines? I'm talking about ghost armies, fake radio transmissions, and intelligence coups that were so secret, they altered the course of major battles before a single shot was fired. Take Operation Mincemeat. For example, British intelligence dressed a deceased man as a Royal Marine officer, planted fake invasion plans on his body, and let him wash ashore in Spain. The Germans found him, believed the false intelligence that the Allies would invade Greece and Sardinia instead of Sicily, and diverted their troops. This single act of deception saved thousands of lives and was a critical factor in the successful invasion of Sicily. This wasn't an isolated incident. The entire war was a chessboard of deceit, where the most powerful moves were the ones made in the shadows. The outcomes of battles were often decided not by the generals on the field, but by the spy masters in hidden rooms, manipulating the enemy's perception of reality. Now, let's move from the battlefield to the back rooms of power. Think of the world map as you know it. How many of those borders were drawn not after a war, but during a quiet dinner between 2 diplomats? Secret political negotiations have shaped nations and redrawn continents, all happening far from the public eye. Consider the Sykes-Picot Agreement during World War I. While the world was focused on the trenches of Europe, British and French diplomats secretly carved up the Middle East into spheres of influence. They drew lines on a map, creating new countries and setting up borders that had little to do with the ethnic or cultural realities on the ground. The consequences of this clandestine deal are still felt today, contributing to conflicts and instability across the region. These backroom deals show that true power often isn't wielded in parliaments or public forums, but in hushed conversations where the fates of millions are decided over a handshake. It's a stark reminder that the world we live in was often designed in secret. History is also a story of innovation. But what if I told you the most groundbreaking inventions were always shared for the good of humanity? Often new technologies were kept under wraps as a way to maintain power and gain a strategic advantage. Think about the race for atomic energy. The Manhattan Project was one of the best-kept secrets of the 20th century. While the public knew a war was raging, only a handful of people understood that scientists were building a weapon capable of leveling entire cities. The secrecy was so intense that many of the 130,000 people working on the project had no idea what they were building until the bombs were dropped. This wasn't just about winning the war. It was about securing a new kind of global dominance. Whoever controlled this technology would control the post-war world. From ancient Greek fire to modern stealth technology, keeping inventions secret has always been a way for empires and nations to stay one step ahead of their rivals. Knowledge, especially technological knowledge, has always been a currency of power. Let's switch gears to the world of finance, an area where hidden strategies can be just as impactful as any army. Covert economic decisions have silently shaped global markets and dictated the rise and fall of nations. You might think of the economy as a system of supply and demand, but it's also a battleground. For instance, in the 1980s, there was a covert economic war waged against the Soviet Union. The strategy was simple but devastating. Collaborate with Saudi Arabia to flood the global market with cheap oil. The price of oil plummeted. For the US and its allies, this meant cheaper gas. But for the Soviet Union, whose economy was heavily dependent on oil exports, it was a catastrophe. Their main source of hard currency dried up, crippling their ability to fund their military and maintain their empire. This economic pressure was a major, yet often overlooked, factor in the collapse of the Soviet Union. It proves that a nation can be brought to its knees without a single missile being fired. The most effective weapon can sometimes be a financial ledger. Finally, we arrive at the shadowy world of espionage and covert military operations, where the actions of a few can shift the destiny of an entire country. These aren't Hollywood movie plots. They are real-life events that have rerouted history. Take the CIA-backed coup in Iran in 1953. Operation Ajax. Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, nationalized the country's oil industry. which had been controlled by the British. Unhappy with this, the UK and the US orchestrated a coup to overthrow him and reinstall the Shah, who was more favorable to their interests. The operation involved propaganda, bribery, and staged riots. It worked. Mossadegh was overthrown, and the Shah's rule was secured for another 25 years. This single covert operation not only altered Iran's political trajectory but also planted seeds of resentment that would eventually culminate in the 1979 Iranian Revolution, an event that continues to shape global politics to this day. It's a chilling example of how a nation's fate can be secretly decided by foreign powers, proving that the most pivotal moments in history can happen without the world even knowing. So, what does this all mean? It means that history is a labyrinth, full of secret passages and hidden chambers. The official narrative is just the story told to the masses. The real story is often one of clandestine deals, secret wars, and hidden technologies. These 5 strategies: secret wartime operations, backroom political deals, suppressed technology, economic warfare, and covert coups are just a glimpse into that hidden world. Understanding them doesn't just change how you see the past. It changes how you see the world today. It makes you ask questions. Who is pulling the strings? What's happening behind the scenes? History is not a settled story. It's an ongoing mystery, and the clues are all around us, if we only know where to look. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the hidden side of history. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you in the next one.